Japan is a country unlike any other, and with its vast technological advancements, crazy customs, and unusual products, it can seem like a totally bewildering place for any non-citizen. From wacky fruit to dinosaur hotels, here's some photos proving why it's so hard to understand Japan. It's no secret that Japan is leaps and bounds ahead of the Western world when it comes to technology. And most aspects of daily life have been improved somehow by innovation. Even some public restrooms like this one have been upgraded with a handy system telling you exactly how many stalls are free at one time. It's like car parking map, but for your butt. If that wasn't enough, red and green lights also let you know which stalls are good to go, and the map even indicates which contain Japanese or Western style toilets, disabled toilets, and even ones with baby change facilities. This virtual toilet choosing facility might not seem all that necessary, but most Japanese restrooms also have the option to play nature sounds to keep your business private. Now that's clever. You'd be surprised to learn that restrooms aren't the only place you might find a public toilet in Japan. If you end up in a sticky situation on your way to work in the morning, you can just pop a squat on this handy elevator potty. Just kidding, this should only be used in an emergency. Seriously, emergency elevator toilets like these can double up as a little break stool during your regular journey, and if you do happen to get trapped inside, then it also contains all the necessary tools like drinking water, an emergency light, toilet paper, and deodorant, which could be vital if you're going to be stuck there for a while. Japan is the vending machine capital of the world, and it isn't just guilty snacks and drinks you can pick up on the go. If you're low on fish broth, shopping bags, or even fresh farmhouse eggs, then these handy machines have got you covered. Something like this might be far from an everyday sight for most of us, but just think how convenient this would be to save you running to the store for just one item. Have you ever seen a watermelon like this one? When it comes to strange food of the world, Japan is definitely top of the list. And there's a pretty lucrative market for wacky designer fruit pioneered by the infamous Japanese greengrocer Simibikia. They produce fruit in all kinds of weird shapes and very limited numbers, including square, pyramid, and heart-shaped watermelons or giant grapes, which are usually given as gifts or used as ornaments, hence the pink bow. Don't be fooled into tucking in too soon though, as these watermelons often don't taste as good as the regular kind, and they can sell for a whopping $25,000 a piece. Square melons aren't the only unusual variation you might encounter in Japan, and it seems nothing is safe from being branded with the all-too-familiar face of Hello Kitty with cantaloupes like this one on sale. These adorable melons hit Japanese markets in 2016 and each cost around an eye-watering $69 each. To achieve the effect, the beloved whiskered faces are carved into the exterior flesh of the melon about a month before being harvested. By the time the cantaloupes ripen in July, the shape will be etched into the fruit's rind by its natural netting. Just imagine the potential of these luxury fruits. There are plenty of weird and wonderful places to stay in Japan, including popular capsule hotels, which are definitely not suited for claustrophobics. But one of the most unusual has to be the Hennom Hotel in Tokyo Bay, which literally means the strange hotel. So what's so strange about it? On your arrival, you won't be greeted by human receptionists, but two charismatic velociraptors in amusing tiny hats. The Hennom was declared the world's first robot hotel after opening its first branch in 2017, and its creator Hideo Sawada insists they're not just gimmicks, but a serious effort to use technology to achieve efficiency. After being checked in by the friendly dinos, you might watch the fully robotic fish swimming about for a while before checking out your own room, which also comes with a mini robot assistant. This hotel shows just how scarily close we are to living in an IRL Black Mirror episode. The Hennom might rely on animatronic staff, but this grocery store selling fresh produce requires no staff at all. In fact, you can pick whatever you want off the shelves as long as you remember to leave the correct cash in the jar. This level of trust is definitely a credit to the Japanese culture, because an unmanned store like this definitely wouldn't stand a chance in most Western cities without all the produce, cash, or both being stolen. Alien crop circles have got nothing on these incredible artistic scenes created in Japanese rice paddy fields. Anyone who's seen the classic Audrey Hepburn film Roman Holiday would have no trouble spotting this memorable scene a mile off, which is probably about as far away as you'd need to be able to see it in full. This incredible art form requires farmers to plant rice of various types and colors to create picture-perfect scenes when viewed from the right angle. Just imagining the amount of pre-planning involved is enough to make your brain hurt. There's no shortage of fun activities to do while visiting Tokyo. You could visit a relaxing cat cafe, hunt down the most beautiful cherry blossoms, or you could dress up as your favorite Mario Kart characters and go racing down the highway. Wait, what? With the company's street cart, you can don a colorful costume, take the driver's seat in a custom-built go-kart, and see Tokyo's best sights right in the midst of the busy traffic. As long as you have an approved driver's license. It's hard to imagine seeing something like this in America, but what better way to scorch the tarmac with friends than while dressed as Mario himself? Just watch out for those pesky banana peels. Uber drivers pimp their cars with all sorts of creative ways to ensure that 5-star rating. But how would you feel about this handy button which is guaranteed to make your ride slower than usual? It may seem crazy to Westerners, but this so-called turtle taxi is actually a pretty successful system in Japan. It was created by the Sanwa Katsu Group, who first trialed it on 10 cars, but soon expanded it due to the popular demand from elderly citizens, tourists, and passengers with young children. Pushing the button notifies the driver to make no sharp turns and to drive at a more leisurely pace. Pretty neat, right? This photo might look like a still taken from a dystopian movie moments before a robot uprising, but it's actually a pretty monumental breakthrough in the world of healthcare. Robot potential has been explored for the greater good many times before, and this particularly friendly-faced 140-kilogram mechanoid, known as Robert, has been developed to assist Japan's rapidly aging population. Robert is capable of lifting patients out of beds and into wheelchairs, and its developers hope it could be instrumental in minimizing the strain put on nurses and caregivers. Some countries have a national animal. New Zealand has the kiwi, England has the lion, and so on. And although Japan's official animal mascot is the koi, there is another more surprising Japanese animal superstar, the capybara. The world's biggest rodent can now be found in around 59 parks across Japan, where it's common to find them hanging out in some of the country's many hot springs. This strange custom gained popularity around 1982, when a zoo worker found a group of resident capybaras hanging around a pool of hot water used for cleaning. The critters love nothing more than a hot bath surrounded by citrus fruit. Can you imagine a custom like this in your home country? If you live in a big city like New York or London, public transport is probably not your favorite thing. Being packed in tightly with dozens of other passengers can be a seriously unpleasant start to your morning. And in Japan, the subway is so notorious that you might even encounter one of these signs. Certain train carriages during rush hour are reserved for women-only use, which have been implemented across Tokyo to keep female passengers safe during peak travel times. This system was designed to tackle a growing groping epidemic by perverts, or chikan on Japanese public transport, so taking one of these specially labeled carriages guarantees a safer journey. Why hasn't the rest of the world caught up yet? Airports can be depressing and boring places to hang around in, but this wish wall in Tokyo's Haneda Airport is definitely an interesting and touching way to make your short stay worthwhile. The vending machine in this image dispenses the little wooden cards which people can use to write well wishes for safe travel, prosperity, or success before hanging them on the wish wall. The world needs more customs like this. How many times have you excitedly ordered something cool looking off the menu, only for it to arrive looking nothing like the promotional image or ad you saw on TV? Well, if you live in Japan, the chances are that familiar sense of disappointment is far less common. In fact, it seems like expectations almost always match up with reality when ordering food and drink in Japan. And if you're a Starbucks fan, these photos probably seem almost too good to be true. If you're sick of getting served something like this while daring to try something new, then Japan is definitely the place to be. It can be hard to comprehend just how much waste large cities produce without seeing it for yourself. And at this diner in Japan, you can watch masses of trash being processed right before your eyes as you tuck into your lunch. The Musashino Waste Plant, which opened the unique bar in 2019, offers diners a one-of-a-kind eating experience by separating them and the enormous garbage-eating cranes by a single pane of glass. Plant owners hope the experience will educate visitors on the amount of work required to process such large amounts of waste, which will make them more conscious about their own disposal habits. Surely the smell alone would be powerful enough to put you off your lunch. Any shopping trip in Japan is bound to be unlike any other, and some products seem so out of the ordinary it's hard to believe they exist in the first place. Check out these single-use underpants, for example. Can you imagine coming across these in your local supermarket? And for the price of less than $1.50 at that. Come to think of it, these could actually come in pretty handy in a number of emergency situations. So I guess it could be worth stocking up until this handy creation makes its way overseas. Feeling peckish in Japan is no issue, because there's a multitude of wacky snacks for you to try which you're unlikely to find anywhere else. One of the most popular quick bites you might find on the streets is the cucumber on a stick, which is exactly what it sounds like. Street vendors sell the popular and affordable food as a refreshing snack which has been chilled in ice and sometimes even soaked and lightly pickled in lemon juice. As the growing obesity epidemic takes hold, do you think this healthy ice lolly could catch on elsewhere? In the modern world, we expect to be digitally connected 24/7, so a large-scale network malfunction could spell disaster for any business with paying customers to account for. The Palace Hotel in Tokyo was so concerned about their patrons losing touch with the virtual world that they sent out this letter of apology after a Wi-Fi shortage lasting a total of 1 minute. As if that wasn't going above and beyond enough already. Get this, the minor internet blip occurred at 4 a.m., so the chances of guests noticing were pretty slim. Nevertheless, this is a firm reminder of the thoughtful and modest culture of Japan. The rest of the world should take note. Dog grooming is a booming market all over the world, and the most preened and perfect pups can win big bucks at international competitions. But there is one grooming craze in Japan which hasn't quite caught on elsewhere. The cube dog. Believe it or not, this is actually a real dog, not some digitally rendered Minecraft-style canine. Dog lovers at the Tokyo Dog Show have been grooming their pooches with an extreme geometric clip to turn them into perfectly angular pets. Just imagine one of these walking down the street. Have you ever visited Japan and experienced any of these things for yourself? Or do you know of any other amazing Japanese customs I left out? Let me know in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.